Hello and welcome to art class. My name is Mr. Pe, and for today's artwork, please prepare your art book or any paper, pencil, eraser, and black marker. You can have your permanent marker or your whiteboard marker. So again, for today's artwork, you need your art book or any paper, pencil, eraser, and your black marker. If you want to use color later, it's up to you. If you want to use your crayon or color pencils, it's up to you. Today, we are going to learn how to make doodle art. And we're going to be successful if we're able to use lines and shapes to make our doodles and use our black marker to outline. When we say doodle art, it is our drawings, whatever comes into our mind, we draw it into our paper. Sometimes they are called scribbles or sketches. Today we're gonna create doodle art that it would look like cute cartoon characters. And we will use what we've learned about lines and shapes so that we will be successful today. Today is going to be about Space Doodle. This week we're celebrating World Space Week. More than 90 countries around the world are celebrating World Space Week. And for our artwork, we're gonna create something like this. Do you think you can do something like this? Great. So here you will see we have different kinds of items, different kinds of drawings, different kinds of doodles. And if you notice, if you look closely, some of my artworks I use pencils. Some of my artworks I use directly with the marker. So some drawings here I did not use any pencil. Some drawings like this rocket, this satellite, and this rocket ship here, and the name here, I've used some pencil. So that if I think I made a mistake, I want to change it, I can erase it. And then when I am sure about my line, I'm going to use my marker to outline. Are you ready? Let's start. Open your art book to a blank page, ready your pencil. I will use for this first artwork, we are going to create an astronaut, and I will use a pencil first. And then later, I'm going to outline. So to draw, our goal today is for us to make a space doodle. So we are going to draw anything that relates to space. We're going to draw anything about space. Or we are going to draw anything about science and technology, because World Space Week is also called the International Week for Science and Technology. So if you know what you want to draw, if you already have something in your mind, you can start to draw for yourselves from your own imagination. If you want to draw with me, then you can follow the step-by-step process on how to draw different kinds of items on our space doodle. Ready? First, let's draw an astronaut by making the helmet. Create a circle. And then another circle inside. And then the antenna. And then on the ear. And then the body. You can pause and play this video if you feel that you need more time to sketch or follow the instructions. So for the body, I've used a rectangle. And for the arms, I'm gonna draw a letter V, making it look like it's a bent arm. Another letter V below, and connect the lines together. If you notice, I'm not gonna draw a hand. If you wanna draw a hand, you can draw a hand with, I normally draw a hand with 4 fingers, having a thumb and 3 fingers like this. But for this artwork, I'm gonna erase this. You like my eraser? And draw another arm here. The arm starts from the shoulder going down. There. And the legs. I'm gonna make one leg here straight, coming from the end of this rectangle. And I'm gonna make this leg here bent. So drawing a letter V again. And an astronaut has big boots. So we have a big shoe. So draw a big shoe with some spikes below. Big shoe, spikes. So you can walk on the moon. And then let's draw some details for the body by making a belt. Just a simple line and then a square here. On this side, we're gonna draw a backpack. And lastly, a long tube that connects this astronaut to the spaceship, that connects this astronaut to the space station. Now we're finished. Here, I'm gonna outline using this whiteboard marker or any kind of permanent marker that you have. If you have something like this, like a fine tip marker, that will be great also. So I am going to try and follow what I have drawn. And this time, like here, I'm going to draw them nicely and carefully. For the helmet, let's draw a rectangle in a circle, just like an exclamation point, and shade inside here. There. And then let's draw the body with this rectangle shape. So if you noticed, we've used shapes to draw this astronaut. Whatever it is that you want to draw, it all starts with a shape. It means if you want to draw something, find a similar shape that you can use to draw that item. And with the help of lines, you can complete any kind of artwork. Sometimes when I outline, I am not able to follow all the lines that I've drawn. That's okay. It takes time for me to practice. Never mind about the details of your artwork. Never compare your artwork to my artwork or your artwork to your friend's artwork. Okay, we have different kinds of styles. Your artwork for me, for as long as you give it your best, is awesome. Next, let's draw a satellite here by making a 3D shape. Let's make a cube. To make a cube, you have to draw a square and find the corners of the square, the top two corners and the bottom right. Make a diagonal line and then connect these diagonal lines by making a horizontal line and a vertical line. Now we have a cube. A cube starts by drawing a square. And then let's make a rectangle here. As you can see, the lines are overlapping. I used a pencil because later I will not overlap the lines like this. And then make a crescent shape for the radar like this. You see the crescent shape? And on top, create a nice curve. So if you look at only this part, it looks like a bowl. And then we're going to draw something like this. So now we have a radar. And on top, creating like a Wi-Fi signal. And on this cube, let's draw a camera. Circle and a small circle inside. For our satellite to function nicely on space, it needs power. So let's draw a nice solar panel here. This is the handle of the solar panel, and this is the panel by making a nice square or a rectangle. And then divide it into 4 parts. On the other side also, solar panel, square or rectangle, divide in 4 parts. Now, I will outline it with a marker. If you notice here, the lines are overlapping, So when I use a marker, I will no longer overlap these lines. You see? Because I've used a pencil, it gives me an advantage on how to draw it again nicely. The reason why we're not overlapping lines, this is to show the viewer of our artwork that something is in front, something is at the back. Something is near, something is far. In art, we call it depth. Solar panels. And lastly, the camera. Wi-Fi signal. There. Now from this moment forward, I'll only going to use my marker, so I will no longer use a pencil. If you feel like you want to use your pencil, if you're unsure about your sketches, that will be fine. You can use a pencil, but from this moment forward, I'm gonna use the marker. So the next drawing we're going to do is a rocket ship. For the rocket ship, I'm going to draw here a nice triangle. So this rocket ship is moving, going to the top right like this. And then below the triangle, I'm going to draw a long rectangle, a circle for the window of the astronaut, the stabilizer or the wings. On the left, like a triangle shape. On the right, and draw a letter I like this, because it's in front, it's in facing front view, so you cannot see the triangle side. And the booster here. And then I'm going to create the fire. 1, 2, 3, and play with it like this. Curvy line. 1, 2, 3, curvy line. Make a fire inside. Now we have a rocket ship. You can even invent your own kind of rocket ship or spaceship. For example, I'm going to create a different kind of rocket ship here, wherein I'm gonna make a triangle like this. And this is the whole rocket ship itself. I will create here a nice circle for the window, a curved line here on top, and the wings are on the middle. And then I'm going to create the booster here, make some lines, and then notice what I'm going to create next is this lines like this. These lines make it look more like a 3D. It creates an embossed effect. And then lastly, instead of this fire, I'm gonna make something like this. So you can have variations. Your fire doesn't always have to be like this. It can be just movement lines like this, showing that the ship is moving towards that way. Next, let's draw planets. To draw planets, starts with a circle. Let's say this is a like Jupiter, like a gas planet. So create wavy lines and maybe combine with swirls. Wavy lines, swirls, and you have a planet. Here I'm gonna draw Earth. Another planet starts with a circle, And then draw the land, islands, countries, continents, the ice, and you have Earth. Now let's draw the moon. Remember, you can pause and play this video if you feel you need more time. The moon also starts with a circle. Now, wait a minute. How come the Jupiter and the Earth and the moon are almost the same sizes? It's okay for doodle art. If you notice, most of our artworks here are of the same sizes. Like this astronaut is almost is bigger than this one. Is almost as big as this one and this one. Same as with the planets. They don't have to be in scale or in proportion. So for the moon, let's draw a letter C. And then create lines around the letter C, making it look like a crater. Next, we're going to draw a circle, an oval, and then some dots. Now you have the moon. What about if I want to draw a Saturn? For Saturn, I'm going to go back to my pencil because it has overlapping lines. Because of the rings overlap the planet. So I'm going to draw the Saturn by making a circle first. Circle for the planet, and then draw the rings. The ring inside and the ring outside. Do you see how the rings overlap the planet? Now I'm going to use my marker to start with the rings first. Whenever I use a marker, I start with the ones that are in front. The rings are in front, so I start with the rings. And the planet is at the back, so that's the last thing I'm going to trace or draw again. Now we have Saturn. And to complete our Saturn, make some wavy lines with some swirls. There, our Saturn is complete. What about drawing a sun? Before, we normally draw a sun like this, with the sun rays like this. Now if you notice, how come most of the things you've drawn are like, okay, they look like real, they look like 3D, but this one really looks like a scribble or a sketch. That's okay. It doesn't have to be like 3D every time. It doesn't have to be like realistic every time. And sometimes when we draw the sun, it looks like this. Circle. And the sun rays are made of curvy lines like this. Also, for the moon, it's not just all round like this. Sometimes we draw the crescent moon like this. Crescent moon is made out of two circles overlapping each other. One circle here and another circle on the other side. Now, how do we draw a star? For a star, some of us can draw the star like this. Start from the top, going down, going up, going to the left, going down to the right, and going back to start. Some of us can draw the star like this. How do we do this again? Going down to the left, going up to the right, going to the left, going down to the right, and going back. So this is the star. Some of us can draw the star like this, an outline, creating like arrows together or part of a triangle to make the star like this. I'm gonna create small stars here. You see, it doesn't have to be so nice, so perfect, because what I want to do is create a nice line like this. What does it look like? It looks like shooting star or falling star. Have you ever seen a falling star before? Or have you ever seen a shooting star before? And what about this? This looks like a big rock. It's called an asteroid. Asteroids are remnants of the planets that formed our universe or our solar system. So the asteroids can be as big as a car or as big as dwarf planets like Pluto or as big as the moon. So these asteroids are like remnants of other planets. So we have this rock type. It doesn't have any air. They're just like rocks floating around the Earth, floating around the Sun, in between Mars and Jupiter. So they are called the asteroid belt. And maybe here we can make another planet, making some lines, curves, and draw a sun, another moon. Does Jupiter have moon? Now this moon looks like an orange. If Jupiter has moons, how many moons does it have? Now you can draw any kind of item on your artwork for as long as it relates to space. It's all about space, or it's all about science and technology. Like, for example, here I'm going to draw a telescope by making an oval line like this, making like a rectangle, and then a smaller one, smaller rectangle, and then like a nice curvy line like this. Now I have a telescope. And to fill in all of the gaps here, you can draw more stars, more moon, or more planets. And then to complete them, you can draw dots like this to make it like the constellation. What does constellation means? When you look at the sky, you will see some stars, and some astronomers, they associate the stars like this to identify it like a Big Dipper or some other constellations. Also, sometimes they would say that this is the North Star. Before, they used the sky to navigate. Like in the desert, you cannot see the sand in the direction. They almost look like the same. But when you look at the stars, then you will see where to go to. You will find your north, and you know where north, east, southwest is because of the constellations, because of the stars. And now you are finished. Make sure that you fill the whole artwork with your space doodle. Did you enjoy your artwork today? Great. See you soon. Bye.